I'm almost, like sometimes I have baby boomer issues with technology. So bear with me. Okay. So new consultant boot camp. Does everyone see that opening page? I'm just going to keep going. And if you don't, then let me know. All right. So new consultant boot camp 101. So if you haven't already, there's something on the Party School, and there's different forums and resources that you can use. And a couple great things are fill out an open date calendar. So your open date calendar, you could even, if you have a calendar that you like to use, you can take something like this. I had just a basic flip calendar, and I would highlight the dates that I knew I wanted to book. And I would just take that to my party. And that way, even if you are an iPhone user, on your phone is where you keep your whole schedule. It's very helpful to have something hanging up so that you can go, oh my gosh, I want to book 6 parties for June, and I want to actually hold 4, and I've only got 3 booked right now. I need to ask a few more ladies if they want to book a party. So it's just a good visual for you to have. And also when you're in the shopping room, it's good for you to show them so that they can see when you are available, because this is all about your schedule. The beauty of this business is you learning to control your schedule, not other people controlling it. So make sure you get a hold of that. The other thing is fill in at least 5 contacts on your who do you know list. And that's another thing. It just helps you jog your brain and thinking about people that you can invite to parties or call, or, and it may even be someone like at the post office that you're like, lady at the post office, you don't even know her name. It's just an acquaintance, but that's okay. It's just helping you think of all these people you can tell about Pure Romance. All right. So welcome. This is your kiddie boot camp. No, that's very disturbing. This is actually your new consultant boot camp. And it's about building confidence, because I know a lot of you probably purchased your kit and then you were like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what to do next. And you have almost like that buyer's remorse where you're like, can I do it? Well, now we're going to change that training of thought to I'll do it, because so many women have done this before you that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. So congratulations on being a part of the new consultant bootcamp tonight, because this is a great way to start. So I think you all know a little bit about me. My name's Shannon Hamaker, and this is my 11th year with Pure Romance. And so it's been a fun journey of doing this part-time and full-time. And, when I had my sons, I was able to do it just sometime. So I've been through the gamut of starting Pure Romance twice, because I had to move to Colorado and I didn't know anybody. I didn't know anyone here. I actually knew 2 people, and they still haven't had parties. So I was in your boat a couple years ago when we first moved here. And so when I'm telling you these things, I know I've done it twice. I've had to start it twice. So trust me. All right. And I've just really enjoyed the journey. It's been very self-revealing, and it's been a growing process as far as personal growth. And I think one of the best things about it is you get to meet wonderful women like yourselves from all over the world. So thank you all again for being here tonight. So I want to know real quick, why are you here? So type in the notes there, and I don't know if I can pull them up while I'm talking. Let me see. Go ahead and type it in. And Sheila May, if you are on here and you can hear me, can you unmute and read what people are writing? Because I cannot see, because I'm sharing my screen, I can't see where people are typing in. So do you mind doing that? Let me unmute you.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. All right. And I could even unmute you all. So is anybody wanting to share? Oh, the chat. I found it. Yay.
Mandy says to stay a student.
Oh, I found it, Sheila. Okay, so you're good. So Mandy from South Dakota said she wants to stay a student, and she has been, and it's proven to work for Mandy. Mandy got started in March or April. Mandy, is that correct? And had to have major July. Okay, you had your surgery. You had to have surgery in July. Mandy, I'm going to unmute you, and you tell us if you don't mind telling us your story real quick, because you had, April was your surgery, heart surgery, right? Heart transplant.
Yes.
And then, oh, and you're not feeling well. I forgot about that. And I'll just ask yes or no questions. And then, so she knew that one way to supplement her income or make an income was to be able to start with Pure Romance. And she started in July and has had over 10,000 in sales for the past 6 months.
7.
7 months.
No, 7,000.
Oh, 7,000. Yeah. So
yes.
Well done, Mandy. And she's gone to every training that she could possibly go to, shows. So she's doing a phenomenal job. So we're so thankful to have her. She's a reminder that people sometimes need this, not only for the money, but for the confidence that I've seen you just grow in the small time I've known you. And then also you've met some great friends as well, right?
Yes, I have.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you, Mandy. Oh, and I was so excited to see that Erin's on here too. She's joining to build confidence going forward and to start off her business strong. And she's at Target. She's a manager at Target in Fort Collins, Colorado. And Suzanne is to get familiar with Pure Romance. She was a distributor with Slumber Parties for 7 years. And how long has it been, Suzanne, since you were with Slumber Parties? I heard she does a heck of a party, so I can't wait to get to know her. And then Mandy just signed up her first daughter, and it's looking into how to help her new daughters be successful. Yeah, it's part of her motivation to be on tonight. Well done. Okay, well, thank you so much, everyone, for sharing. And for those of you that couldn't share, you're welcome to, at the end, we're going to have the question and answer time. So if you can hop on then, that'd be great too. It's been about 4 years since your last party. Oh my gosh, this is going to be so fun. So much changed. So much has changed in a good way. All right. Well, I'm glad to hear where you all are from. If there's, I think if there's anything that why you're here that I missed, please go ahead and type it in. Nothing in the world is worth having or worth doing unless it means effort, pain, and difficulty. Now, it's not going to be that painful. Sometimes it's a little painful, but growth and change and learning things new at a lot of us are older. So you know how hard it is sometimes to create new habits, good habits. So this is going to be a fun journey for you if you embrace it as an exciting thing and as a beneficial thing to your life. And if you really hone in on the message that we are empowering and educating and entertaining women, then not only is it going to be a lot of fun for your guests at your parties and enlightening for them, but for you, it's just really gonna, I hope it is everything that you want it to be and more. I'll just put it that way. All right. So are you ready? So here's how we get there. It's pretty basic. Anytime you look at how we make money in this business and how we consistently have parties and we're successful, it starts with booking parties, selling at the parties, sharing the information about Pure Romance and about the opportunity that has as a business, and then repeating. I've found that anytime I try to go outside of this, it's a headache and it's not worth my time. And I hope that makes sense. Like, it's fun to be creative and it's fun to try new things, but the basic wheel is to just book, sell, share, repeat. So if you're like, where do I start? Basically is booking your parties. That's where you're able to show off all the wonderful products that we have. And you find that a lot of women are in need of these products and they're in need of a fun girls' night. So that's where we're going to start, is how to book your parties. So the Pure Romance commercial, this is super, super simple. It's just a matter of time and taking a little bit to learn how to say what you do. So it's kind of fun to practice saying what you do to your friends. And we give you some different little samples, skits that are planned, not canned, because what you're going to do is you're going to say something like this over and over and over again, and you're going to find that you put your own spin on it. But this is very helpful when someone says, so what do you do? And you're like, I'm the Pure Romance consultant. What's that? That's not what you do. That's what you are. You're a pure romance consultant. So this tells you a little bit more. I'm a pure romance business owner. We have in-home parties to educate women on the benefits of relationship enhancement products. We've got great products from lotions to lingerie, bedroom accessories. And I have to say the best part of my job is I get to throw fun parties for women, like give them tips on improving their intimate lives. And you know what? They get free gifts too. So my hostesses can earn up to $100 in free products just for having a party. But more importantly, your girlfriends just want to have a fun time and get together. And actually today, I was at a new gym. I like to gym hop because you get to know new people, and I like to try different things. So I was at a new gym, and this woman was like, so what is it that you do? And I said, I'm kind of like a sex ed teacher for women. Like I do parties and presentations, and mainly like in-home parties, because that is like the most fun, safe place to talk about sex. And she was like, oh my gosh, tell me about it. And I was like, plus you add in some wine and appetizers and your girlfriends would have a blast. So she's like, I want some more information. So I'm going to take her some more information tomorrow. We'll maybe get some of the girls together from the gym. So yay. So what are some other things that you can say? Does anyone have a commercial that they want to share? Because I know we've got some veterans on here. So if you want to share, excuse me. Anyone? Oh, I'm skipping ahead. Sorry. Okay. What I want you to do is go ahead and say this out loud, as weird as you may sound, depending on where you are. Say it a couple of times, just so you get the hang of saying it. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes, 6:30 till 6:30. And then I'm going to call on somebody. I'm going to either call on Mandy or Sheila. So be ready. Well, man, doesn't 2 minutes seem like a long time? You got about 45 more seconds. Say it one more time. Well, thank you, Sheila. Sheila said she would be happy to share hers. So I'm going to have Sheila. Sheila May is one of our leaders from the South Dakota area. So Sheila, you want to hop on and tell us your 30-second commercial? Do I need to unmute you? Hi, Kitty. Okay.
All right. So if I'm meeting someone new, kind of like you said at the situation at the gym, what do you do? Well, I'm an in-home party company, or oh my gosh. Okay. I'm a pure romance consultant, and sometimes I ask what that is. Sometimes I don't. I'm like, well, I do in-home parties for adult women. So we have bath, beauty, and bedroom accessories. And our parties are really fun. And that did not flow very well, because if they look at me like they don't know what pure romance is, I'm like, well, you've heard of Mary Kay, Tupperware, that kind of, those direct sales companies, right? You get the idea. You're like, oh yeah, okay. Most of the time I've heard of those. And then, well, we do the in-home parties for women, but we do the adult parties.
And they're like, you mean sex toys? Yes, but we do have other things too, like lotions and lubricants. And we actually have, I like to say that we have products that kind of go along with the life cycle of a woman. And, you know, just for those that want to have a little more fun, or maybe they've just had a baby and things change. And yeah, it just kind of depends on the conversation of who you're having it with. So what I want to challenge you all to do is to have three people that you run this by. It could be your partner, could be your best friend. Just tell them up front. Be like, all right, I know I'm going to sound like an idiot, but I got to practice this so I sound like I'm not an idiot. So it's got to flow more comfortably. And I remember when I first moved here and I was trying to have my first party, I basically just had my own relaunch party in Colorado. So I met women from, like, there was a woman smoking a cigarette on the street, taking a break from work. And I told her and I told somebody else. And there were several times that I was like, it's like, you know, like I just totally tripped on my words, because back in Tennessee, I didn't really have to do it anymore. I built up my business. So it does take a little bit, but once you get it, you'll get the hang of it, and you'll know when somebody doesn't want to talk about it anymore. And then you'll know when some people are like, oh, really? They have a little different response. So just kind of go with your gut on how you have that conversation. All right. Because you know what? We know that a lot of people want to have a party. We just have to figure out who they are. So telling them your little commercial is going to help. So we're not going to do 10 minutes of speed dating. I should tell you guys that this boot camp is really set up for a in-person type of thing. So there may be some things that I skip over. And it's not because I'm trying to skip out on anything. It's just a little bit different online. But when you are doing your commercial, do think about, is it natural? Is it authentic, and does it flow? Let it flow, let it flow. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Especially for those of you that have little girls that probably just recently stopped hearing that song on a daily. All right. You all are winners, because I'm hoping that you tried doing your commercial. All right. So let's talk about booking scenarios. Can you guys hear that music when that goes on? You'll have to tell me if you do. All right. So if you are trying to book parties, but you're a little bit nervous, let's talk about some things that are going to help you. First of all, you're normal. Not trying is the number one reason ladies don't book parties. So you're totally normal to be like, I don't know if I should ask that person. And I don't know if they're into that. And you'll be surprised who is. So once again, like the woman that lives down the street that is a high school math teacher, I never would have guessed that she would be one of my best customers. You would look at her and you wouldn't be like, oh, now she's going to have a party. She looks like a wild one. No, she just really enjoys our products, and I've enjoyed getting to know her and her friends. So I'm just glad that I asked her. So making sure you ask everyone. And remember, you'll get 6 no's for every yes. So every time you get a no, you can be like, yes, all right. That's closer to another yes. So you just got to figure out who it is that wants to have the party and who says yes. It's the best way to learn. Asking people is the best way to learn on how to ask and how not to ask. And then, of course, we're here to support you. So if you're frustrated, nervous, whatever, that's what we're here for. And what do you need? You need your who do you know list. That's the one that I was telling you about at the beginning. Your open date card or something similar if you have your own calendar. But this is great. You can print this off from the COO. And then the Sound Bites guide is just a little tidbit of information, like your Pure Romance commercial, your concerns that people may have. So it's ways to address those concerns. So that's a great thing to print out and keep handy too. So there's several different ways that you can communicate and ask people for parties these days. There's phone, email, text, Facebook. There's so many different ways. So we're going to go through a couple different ways that you can use your commercial in a booking phone call. So you would use that basically by calling someone and being like, hey, just so you know, I just started this new business. I couldn't pass up on this opportunity. I'm super excited. I'm going to have my first party, and oh, by the way, have you heard of Pure Romance? And then that's your chance to tell them. You could even call and be like, hey, Cindy, I need to practice my booking commercial. It's called a booking commercial for my new business. Do you care if I practice on you? And lo and behold, your friend may be like, oh, that sounds like fun. I want to go to your first party, or I'll have a party. So that's a great way to do that. The other thing is you want to make an offer. So when you're booking your first 6 parties in 60 days is what we try to think, or 3 parties in 30 days is another way to think of it. You want to make sure you make an offer. So I remember telling people, several people, all about Pure Romance. And they're like, oh, great. And I'd be like, great, bye. And I wouldn't offer them the opportunity to have a party. So make sure at the end, be like, do you think you and your friends would be interested? And a lot of times they'll be like, you know what? Can I get your number? And you can just be like, oh, wait, you know what? I know you're so busy. I've got my phone right here. What's your information? I'll give you a call, or I'll text you in the next few days, and you see what works for your girlfriends. Throw out a couple of dates. Or if you have your open date card, just offer to pencil her in and have her check with a few of her closest friends. Whatever you do, excuse me, don't let her say, I'll call you back, because even though she may have intentions of calling you back, she probably won't, because it's low on the priority list behind dentist appointments and calling the plumber to fix that leak that's been leaking for 3 months. It's just one of those things that is like like it's a bonus. It's like if you call her and she's like, yes, that would be fun. Yes. So Sheila said to make the offer and get her digits, get her information so you can follow up. So the text information, text message, how would you start and end a text message booking conversation? You can let them know, hey, you do anything Saturday? Not really. Want to book party? There are several different ways that you can ask people to book a party through text. And right now, since you're brand spanking new, you can say the first 3 people that book a party with me are going to get an additional $10 in free product, or a big giant hug for me, or whatever. You know, if it's someone that you're very close with, a lot of friends at this point in time, and a lot of acquaintances too, they want to help you. If you're like, I just started my business and I need to get 6 parties to practice. Will you be one of my practice parties? Just have some of your girlfriends over. And most of the time they're like, yeah, I gotcha. So let's move on. Let me see. All right. So with a partner, come up with a few conversation starters. That's obviously for a in-person get together. The other thing is Facebook or email. How would you ask for booking on Facebook? Here's a little example. Hey ladies, I just started my own business. Would you guys be interested in hosting a party? It would be so fun, and you'll get free products. Text me. And then you tag your friends. Okay, so I make this post on my Facebook feed and mention several friends in the post. Hey ladies, I just started, I post that. And let's talk about what seems right. It seems authentic. There's an offer for benefiting the hostess, right? And then at the end, who would want to have a party with me? It'll be fun. You'll get free products. The bad thing about this post is it's very passive. So passive versus active. We'll show you an active one in a minute, but passive is putting it out there to several people, and active is personal and more focused with communication with the person that you're connecting with. It's not a blast communication. When you get those group messages and you're like, leave conversation right away. So that's probably what these ladies would do. So the best thing you can do is do a more personal message. Let's see. A more personal message to an individual that you're connecting with. And, being like, hey girl, I hope you had a great holiday. Just so you know, I just started, and, Valentine's Day is right around the corner. Would you like to have a party? And I know you wanted some more coochie, and I'll give you a free bottle, something like that, where you're connecting with them and you're having an individual message versus a group message. All right. So we got the booking down. Any questions on the booking? Woohoo. Now we're going to talk about some selling. All right. So how many of you, a lot of you have had parties. How many people are you typically having at your parties? We've got Sheila, Mandy, who else has been? Elizabeth, if she's still on. What's your average attendance at a party in January, February? Mine is about 10 to 12 ladies. So Sheila, Mandy, if you'll put that in there, 4 to 5 was Mandy. Okay. We're going to help you get that up, Mandy. Sheila, 8 to 10. Okay. You want to get as many ladies at every party that you can. It's the best use of your time, right? So we'll talk about that and how you party plan with your hostess. All right. So, and then what has been your best party so far, Sheila? What's your highest party in sales? Just curious. I know mine was, I think we posted this not long ago, and I think mine was like 2,500. We had Linda Stevenson just had a 2,600 party, $1,600 party with 7 ladies. Woo! That is some good stuff. Just last year, I remember getting that Voxer when you were so excited. All right, so let's talk about the importance of selling the products at the parties. So, what is it? Why do we do it? All right, so let me see. Selling these products, sorry, I'm reading and talking at the same time. First of all, the selling and the party planning. Party planning. So what is it? Party planning is helping you stay in touch with your hostess so that you can have as many people at the party as possible, right? So you are staying in touch with her at least once a week, sometimes more. You know, right now, a lot of ladies are going to be excited to get their girlfriends back together. And it's just a great way to text her and be like, hey, I'm so excited. I just did this little text message for you to forward on to your girlfriends as a reminder. And then you're also going to talk to her on the phone and just break it down. Make sure she knows what makes a good party. You are going to make sure that she is selling this to her friends and getting as many ladies as she can there. Because the more people there, the better. Gosh, Sheila, just imagine if you had 14 ladies at that one party. Whew. So why we do the party planning, you want to make sure that your hostess doesn't have like high expectations that you never address with her. So like, for example, I had a woman that cleaned her entire house. I had not been doing very good party planning, and I just talked to her a couple times, and she's like, yeah, I've got like 40 ladies that are going to be there. And I was like, whoa, that's awesome. And I knew it would probably be like 30. But what I didn't know was she did no follow-up. She just sent out invitations and just expected everybody to come. So I show up. She has a huge spread of food, and her sister and her mom are there. Wah, wah. And I was like, Jennifer, did you follow up with any of your girlfriends? Why, like, are they okay? And she was like, no, I just sent out the invitation, and like some people said they were going to come, but I haven't talked to them in a while. But that was my fault. So after every party, I have to stop and think, what could I have done better to make this a more fun party for my hostess so that she's going to tell all of her friends how much fun it was and how much free stuff that she gets, right? So I'm going to stay on top of making sure I communicate with her. So we also do it because it's a part of the selling. When there's more people, there's more excitement. And when somebody comes out with a big bag, somebody else is going to go in and go, oh, what'd you get? Okay, I got to get that too. And the more people buy, the more it just generates that excitement of buying more fun things. So how do we do it? Well, a great demo is a huge bonus in this whole thing as far as selling goes. But if you have no one to demo to, it's not going to work very well, right? So how do we do party planning? What you're going to do is you're going to check out the party planning part of the party school. And there's also a Pure Romance. There's a website that's totally dedicated to party planning, and it breaks it down super, super easy. Party planning is great as far as you taking the load off of your hostess too. Every time that you talk to her, you're like, hey, you're going to call like those 3 times before. And the first time you are going to break it down with her. Like, what's your goal of this party? You just want to have fun with your girlfriends? Awesome. Okay, great. Well, just so you know, no men and no children can be present at the party. And you want to get as many women as possible there. So you're going to invite about 40 ladies. And when you invite 40, that will give you about 10 to 12 ladies that will actually show up. And that's super important to tell her that, because if she doesn't know and she starts getting all these no RSVPs, she's like, oh man, she's getting bummed out, and then you call her and she's like, well, not many people are coming. And you're like, well, how many yeses have you gotten? 3. Oh, well, that's actually good because the party's still 2 weeks out. So a lot of times ladies don't commit until the end, so you can walk her through that and get her excitement back up again, and maybe even help her come up with ideas to get more ladies there, like encouraging them to bring a friend and that sort of thing. The other thing that you're going to do is try to spread your resources across all the different technology resources that we have. So you can offer to do a Facebook event for her. I have a Facebook sample event set up on the Girls on Fire page, and you all are welcome to use exactly what is on there. So there's some little posts about, bringing a friend, also who is new to Pure Romance. I did like a little poll. So lots of different things that you can do. Can you all hear my screaming toddler in the background? I apologize. Tell me if you can. So anyways, the other thing that you can do is a red stamp text invite for your hostesses. And I'm pulling up mine right now. Seriously, can you all hear my toddler in the background? If not, I'm not worried. Okay, so you can do this little text to forward on to them. They can print it out. They can also send it as a text message to their friends. So there's many things that you can do on here. You can also do a thank you card. You can do themes, like holiday themes. You can do like stuff for a bachelorette party. You can do a special theme for that. I like to do thank you cards for the ladies that I have parties with. So this was a bachelorette group, and I took a quick picture of them and then sent them a little note that said, thank you for a fabulous party. Looking forward to seeing you again soon. And this is an app. It's called Red Stamp. Let me see if I can get the actual icon so you can see what it looks like. It is just that middle one there, right next to my COO app, which is great. If you guys haven't seen the COO app, you can download that from the website. And this is your best friend as a new consultant too, because you can, this is a side note, by the way, you can go to products on here and you can watch a video on every single product if it's on here, if it's listed. Most of them, there is a video. So like this one is the bum diggity. Of course, I go straight for the anal, right? Just kidding.
Ladies, continuing on with anal play, let's take a look at Pure Romance's bum dig.
So if you're at a party and you're like, oh, I have no idea about that product, you can pull that up and it will have all the information right there. It tells you what it's made out of. It tells you the retail price and your price. It tells you if it's waterproof, all those things, how much it is. So that's an excellent thing for you all to download. So Red Stamp and the COO app. So Red Stamp is great for your hostess coaching. So Sheila just said, I have Android and found that Pic Collage is more user-friendly for Red Stamp. So Pic Collage is another one too. So, all right. That's a great one. All right. So then next we have, how many hostess connections do you make? A lot, as many as possible. Now, a lot of the stuff that we talk about with Pure Romance, as we're going through this and you're doing this new consultant boot camp and you're like, oh my gosh, I have a full-time job. I have kids. When am I going to fit all this in? these are easy little day things that you can do on the go. Like if I'm on Facebook, I'm going to send my message to my hostess and say, hey, I just made your Facebook app or your Facebook event. Just add your girlfriends. I'm super excited. I'll give you a call this evening. Does that work? You know, just little touches like that. It doesn't have to be a grand event where you have to sit down and do hostess coaching, you know, especially for those of you that are doing 4 parties a month, 6 parties a month. This is a great easy way to do this in between classes or while you're with your kids at their sporting events or whatever. So when do they happen and what's their purpose? So they happen when you do them. And like I said, on the go. So any questions about party planning? If you have more questions, we have the party planning tools. And we're going to talk about the hostess connections a little bit more. Get in your groups if you would, please. So here, we'll break it down a little bit more for you. So before the party, you fill out the information on the COO, My Parties, in the party section of the COO. You can just enter, and this is in the party school as well. You are going to schedule your first hostess party planning call. So some people like to do like a Monday night where it's 4 or 5 days before the party if they do them on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. I like to have Monday nights usually as my call night, or my office night. So I spend a lot of time with my kids during the day, but my husband always knows on a Monday night that from 7 to 9, that's like my office time where I connect with a lot of people. And so you may want to do like 7 to 8 on Monday night, or pick whatever night works best for you. But relay the information to your significant other that that's when you're on the clock. So if a tantrum's going on like there was just now, you got to be like, okay, focus, put your headphones in. I've hidden in the pantry before. Go hide in the closet if you need to. All right. So these are all the different things that you do for your hostess connections. You're going to fill out the party information, enter the information on the COO, and then you're going to schedule your first party planning call, make the first party planning call. You can take some notes, like maybe in your phone or on your calendar, but in your phone, you can put like bachelorette party, or you can put like specific notes about them so that you can remember the night of the party, some of the things that you can bring up in conversation to have that connection with them. And then you can create the private Facebook event and share the party link on the Facebook event. So these are all listed out on the party planning information. So I know we're going through a lot of this stuff. Let's see. So there's the call. Oh, this is good. Okay. So your party planning call. So we're just going to talk about a couple of what ifs. So what if, number one, I thought that day would work, but after talking with my friends, I really don't think it's a good idea to do it that day. Do you have any? Okay. Well, do you guys have any suggestions on that one? Anyone? Well, if you talked with a few of your closest friends, oh, okay. So you're canceling? No. All right. I would just assume that another day is going to work best. I'd say, okay, well, what day works better? So is Tuesday work better? Kind of get your calendar out. Okay. Well, I'm glad, because typically when I book a party at a party, I'll say, go check with a few of your closest friends and see if this date works. And I'm going to call you. And when we talk, you just will, go from there. And most of the time they're okay with that date. So that does happen. And the key thing though, is to go ahead and get another date right there. Don't tell her to go talk it out with her friends, because that's going to take forever. You know how long there's still friends that we haven't gotten together to go have a glass of wine that we've been meaning to for like the past year, because we can never get our schedules together. So help guide her to that date. And that will help everyone in this situation. What if number two, I'm getting more nervous about the party the more I think about it. What exactly is going to happen if I do it? So that's just going to break it down for her. A good question to ask her is, oh, okay, so what are you nervous about? And that way you can address her concerns. If it's not having enough people show up, then you can say, let's talk about who you're inviting and making sure that she's inviting a wide variety of people. Or maybe she has like a super religious group of friends and she's nervous that it's going to get a little too crazy. And you can let her know that you can keep it on the mild side versus the wild side. So just ask questions to figure out what she's worried about. So you're going to create all the Facebook event, all this stuff, the second party planning call. All right. So let's say this is the second party planning call and this is a week or two out. I'm actually having a really hard time getting people to RSVP. Oh my goodness. I know we still have some time, but it seems like a lot of women like wait until the end to fully commit. So what I'm going to have you do is just give them a call or text them and tell them that the consultant needs to have a head count so she can make sure she's prepared. And something else we can do is have like a sexy food contest where people bring sexy foods and you can give out an award for the sexiest food or the tastiest food. And that way ladies will feel like obligated or, they'll want to go. And it's totally optional. So those ladies that don't like to cook, they don't have to bring anything, but you'll be surprised how excited people get with like some type of a theme that we can come up with. And then I'm having second thoughts. You should hear some of the things my friends are saying about it. What are they saying? Oh my goodness. What are they saying? Just ask questions. You get the impression that she's not promoting the party very well. If you get the impression that she's like kind of like, well, yeah, I'll kind of have it. Like you want somebody that is going to be excited. So I think asking why she initially booked is a great way to do that. And who are you excited about joining us at the party? So think of different questions to help her get excited. And that will be good. Check. Now this last call, I'm so sorry, but I have to cancel. Our babysitter bailed and my husband is out of town. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. That is a bummer. Well, I know a lot of your friends were excited about having a party, Erin, but I do have a couple of babysitters on hand that I could call for you. You want me to see if they're available? Or if you don't have that, you could say, we could still, since you had a lot of friends that were excited, we don't have to do a full party. I can just bring over the catalogs and we can kind of hang out and make it informal. And because I do know that a lot of your girlfriends were excited. The other thing is here we have a drop-in daycare. Of course, some people are like, drop-in daycare? That sounds horrible. But if they don't know about it, that's something to bring up too. I only have one RSVP, so I really don't think it's a good idea to do this tonight. You can decide based on where the location is and if she's only had one RSVP, if that's one person that you can get in front of and have a conversation, especially if you're practicing right now, go for it. Do it. All right. Hostess Connections. High five. We're all winners. Woo woo. It's party time. So let's talk about what we do at the party time. Now the party flow goes like this: arrival and setup, icebreaker and introduction, the presentation of the liquid line, because we don't want to skip the foreplay and just go straight to the toys, right? Bedroom accessories, booking game, and a closing speech. Another word for a booking game is like a booking commercial, so that you're making sure that ladies are thinking about booking a party. And then the shopping room. We're not taking a break. We're going to cruise on through this. All right, is this okay, before we get started, is this helpful for you all? Is anyone overwhelmed? Underwhelmed? Excited? Anybody? Is anybody still there? Hello? Okay, good, Suzanne. Good. Excited. Awesome. All right, so the yay. Okay, so the presentation flow. So for every party, you have to think, you're not just going to be like, okay, ladies, this is Body Do. It's a oil you spray on you and it smells really good. And you use it after bath. I mean, that is not exciting, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to introduce the category. You're going to describe a problem or a need that these ladies have for these products. A lot of times you can think about your experience with them. Now, if it's a toy, you're not going to be like, ooh, this one time my husband was coming up behind me. No, you're not going to do that. But you can still talk about third person. Like you can talk about in third person where you're like, oh my goodness, my friend's husband loves that Burning Desire candle. You can come up with a whole story that was really about you, but you can say it's your friend. That reminds me of my mom because she'll buy stuff for me, but she says it's for her friend. So it makes it a lot easier, right? So when you say that, because if you say something that's too personal, they're going to be looking at you and they're like, I wonder what her husband looks like. God, I can't imagine her using that product. You want to imagine them using the product. And you also want to use testimonials that your past customers have about products or your friends or past guests. So there's so many different stories that you can use to describe that problem or the need that they may have for this product. The category, I forgot to talk about that too. So you can talk about like the importance of foreplay, the importance of bath and beauty, feeling sexy, smelling good, having a soft, silky skin. The foreplay, if there's not enough foreplay, it can be painful, and we need to, simmer our crock pot. Come on now. So talk about the problem or need, and then introduce the product. And then give samples or show where to find the product in the catalog. For some of you that just bought the standard kit, you can still show a lot of these products, letting them know, I'm new to the business, but man, this next order from the money that I make from this party, or, with my next order, I'm totally going to get the Home Alone because I hear that toy cannot be beat. And you can talk about it in the catalog. And when you say that you can't keep it in stock, that makes them want it more. So even if you don't have it, you can show it. You can also recommend other items that go hand in hand with those products. So Body Dew, coochie, like peanut butter, jelly, right? So you can recommend those other items to go with it as you're doing your presentation. So a good presentation does not come across as too salesy. Oh, wait, I don't think let me see. Oh, okay. So this would be like if somebody was going to give a good demo in front of everybody. So let me do a demo. I wish I forgot about this part. All right, ladies. Oh, I know. We're going to talk about foreplay, and I'm going to talk about one of my most favorite products because I've heard the best results from this. And it's funny because it's not one of the most expensive things in the catalog, but what it does is it encourages communication, because we all know a lot of relationships have a lack of communication, and that sometimes leads to, some issues. So we have our date night game, and this isn't our foreplay. We all know foreplay is important, right? Sometimes it's just hard to think of new things to do. So we have 2 decks of cards. One deck is action. The other deck is conversation. So let me tell you about my friend who had her 4-year anniversary. She went to the beach, although it had been a tough year for her and her husband. They had just had a baby. He lost his job, just a lot of life changes going on. And what she did was she came to me and she was like, what do I get? I don't even feel like kissing him, much less having sex with him. It's supposed to be an anniversary trip, make it fun. And I was like, look, just take the date night game, put out the cards, and see what happens. She came back and she said they stayed up till like 4 a.m. playing that game, and they had a blast. And now what they do is they will put a card on the other person's dresser or in their coat jacket, kind of like a food for thought for the day. But it's a lot of fun because it will say something like, tell me about your favorite part of my body and why, or when's the last time you thought of me in a sexy way. And then the action cards are all 1 minute. So give your partner a foot rub for 1 minute, or make love in front of the mirror for 1 minute. So if it's something that you don't want to do, you can put your pass card down. And there's 3 pass cards per player. There's only 2 players unless you're into that kind of thing. But anyway, that's the date night game. Go ahead and write that down. That's a great gift for anyone that's been married for a year or 10 years. I give that to all of my friends that are getting married. It's a fun product. All right. So did I come across as salesy? Was there a story with a problem and a resolution? Was she confident in her knowledge of the product? And did she recommend other products in that category? Oops, I should have done that. So I should have said something about, like, there's massage products. So get some lubricants and massage oils and things like that, fun things to go with that, because it does refer to some things, like get your favorite massage oil, get your favorite lubricant. So, so good presentation. Okay. All right. We're not going to do you guys hear that music? Do you guys hear that music when it goes off? Okay, it plays in my ear, so I thought you guys could hear it too. Next time it happens, I'll unplug this so you can hear it, but it's like a little intro music. Okay, so calculating party totals. The first group to give me 5 complete and accurate order forms wins this challenge. We're going to go through this a little bit quicker because we don't have as much time. But we have Conservative Christy, Sexy Sophia, Loud Linda, Trisha the teacher, who's the hostess, and Budget Bridget. And it's going to be a 7% tax rate. So what I would have done was listed out the different things that you were going to add up. But one thing I want to point out right here is we're about to come out with something called Pure Sale. So for those of you that have iPads or maybe thinking about getting one, it's going to be compatible with that. And it's going to be an incredibly easy way to track your inventory and add things up. It's still good to know how to do this on paper, but it's pretty basic. You just add up, the product total of everything that they purchase. You add the tax, or you multiply by 0.07. That gives you the tax amount. Now, if there is a discount, like there was Tess the teacher, who's the hostess, you subtract that after you do the product total and the shipping and handling. So you would subtract that $68.50 from these two, and that's the total. Any questions? When you have your actual order form out, you'll be able to see and add up a little bit easier. And if we were in person, I would talk a little bit more about it. All right, we will move on. Where did the discount come in? Well, her product total, so it would have been adding up the total of the party, and then 10% of the party is what she gets in free product. So whatever this total is times 10%, her total party must have been $685. So that, I hope that makes sense. So we subtracted $68.50. And if you have questions, your sponsor can help you individually with that. Oh, and it's going through it. I forgot it goes through that. So this is calculate all individual order totals, find out how much free products she gets, go through the shopping room experience, and subtract her discount. So here you go. Hostess gift was a heart massager, so $15.93 plus 6, which this is changing to 7, by the way, which is a good thing, especially for you all that are new. When you're in your demo or when you're talking about it, it's basically a convenience fee for everything to be delivered to them, to their front door in a discreet mailer, and for them to have some of their product on hand that evening. So most people don't say anything about it, because if they've been to a party like this, they know. And then there's the hostess credit discount and the hostess gift and their total due. So there's the Did you hear it? So there's the answer to your question. All right. So the shopping room flow. Greetings and welcome to the shopping room. No, don't say that. So review their connection card and wish list. Ask if they want to host a party. Ask every single person. You'll be surprised who will say yes. Ask good questions and complimentary sell. especially if you don't want somebody going home with a C-ring without that whipped cream based lubricant, because that's going to be the most comfortable thing for them. And if they do that, it's going to be, if they take that home and then they're like, how do I clean it? And you forgot to tell them about the cleaner. So just making sure that they have everything that they need for a fun, comfortable evening or day. And then finalize the order and calculate the total. And then it's always good to tell them about the products that they get. Remind them, pea size amount on the clitoral area or whatever. Just give them the rundown to make sure that they know. Okay. So when people come in to the shopping room, it's really good to make sure that you have that connection. You have that one-on-one eye contact. So I like to have 2 chairs that are sitting across from each other, or I'll use like a dresser and I'll have them stand so that I can see them. And when they come in, it is not a rushed experience for them. I really make sure that they get everything that they want and they have all their questions answered. The last thing you want to do is like be rushing them out and they feel like they're just, a herd of cattle going in, spending money, and they don't feel like you really care about what they get. So making sure that they have everything that they need. And when they come in, it's like, hey, so tell me, Sheila, what part of the party did you love the most tonight? And you get great feedback. Or is there anything I can improve upon? Or, any products? I know you said you were with slumber parties or you've been to a slumber party before. What are some products that you loved that you thought were different, or that you think we should add to our product line? Have conversation with them. Okay. So what's next? Let's evaluate. If you're not sure where to start when you go home or when you turn off the computer, the first thing to do is make sure you have a party on the books. So if you haven't completed the Go for the Bookings assignment in Party School, that's a good place to start. After that, work on anything that you thought you needed to improve upon. Each challenge represents core skills for your business so that you're going to eventually want to nail everything. Not literally, don't nail everything, no. But I also want you to remember that you nailed it today because you are most likely to learn from all of these things, those core values that you need to start your business. So get your parties on the books, complete Go for the Bookings in Party School, and start with challenges that need to improve. So what are 3 takeaways that you all are going to take it and run with it? Type it in here. Let's see it. And this is a good time for question and answer as well. But I did want to mention real quick, the best place to start is not only booking the parties, but making sure that you have your own launch party set. Once again, when I moved here, I didn't know anyone, but I invited the neighbors and the grocery store attendant. I invited 24 people. That was the gumption that I mustered up. And I made sure that they brought friends. And I ended up with 9 people, and 6 people booked parties, and 4 of them actually held. So that was the start of my business here. And it was a good, there were still times where you had to like get on the phone and ask people. But once you get that courage mustered up to ask people for parties, you'll get one party and you're like, oh my gosh, she said yes, that's so exciting. So it's very important that you just get out there and get outside of your comfort zone and just start asking, because you'll never know who says yes. And the best way to fail is not by not asking. You can tell I'm getting a little tired. So just remember what did Jennifer say? Remember to recommend complimentary products and follow up and just ask. Yeah. And your launch party is kind of like, if you think about a marathon, you're setting that deadline of what you have to work up to. So if you are sitting here saying, I'm going to wait until I finish Party School and I know everything, Don't do it. That's the worst thing you can do, because you'll get to a point where you're going to be ready, but you don't know it. It's just that nervousness that's natural and healthy, and it's keeping you from taking that next step. So go ahead and book that party, especially because of the Valentine's Day season. It's cold. There's not much to do. So get your friends to have some parties, and start with having your own party at your house and making it super fun so that they want to share that experience with their friends. And also, if you book a party like on a Thursday night, have a follow-up party on Saturday. So that those that were unable to make it to the first party, you can say, well, that's okay, I have one on Saturday. Because after that first party, you're going to be so amped up and ready to do that again. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, that was so much fun, but I wish I would have said this. I wish I would have done this different. And man, I wish I had another party that was scheduled closer than the one that's 2 weeks out. So just get those parties 3 in a row would be great. If you could just do 3 in a week, you'd get that momentum and you'd be unstoppable. So, all right. So I'm going to unmute all of your beautiful voices and faces. And I want to hear from you on questions that you may have.
Show my face.
And you can put your videos on too. If you have a lot of background noise, just re-mute yourself. Oh, Heather, sorry. All right. So, any questions? Any questions? What Sheila just put on here about the South Dakota girls, that's about the same for Colorado too. I'm guessing, I was saying, I was hoping that January 9th would be the starter date. Oh, poor Suzanne. I hope you feel better. Sleep with a humidifier. Do the neti pot. We'll have to get together when you feel better. All right. Well, if no one has any other questions, congratulations. This was a big deal for you to get through this first training here. So I hope it was helpful. And if you haven't already, go ahead and send a message to your sponsor and say, help me. I want a phone conversation. I want a phone appointment with you to go over the next steps. Sound good? And for those of you that have other friends or new consultants on your team that weren't on here tonight, I'm recording this, so I will be posting it so that everyone can see it. All the world to see.
We also have another one scheduled for the end of January.
That's right. Another new consultant boot camp. Yeah. Yep. We're going to have them every other month. So January, March. Yeah. And for those of you that are on the Girls on Fire team, we do have also a bi-monthly online meeting. So you'll see the Facebook group will post the different events that we have, but that's something that you'll want to take part in because you'll hear everything that's going on. It's about an hour and a half, hour 15, hour and a half, something like that, once every other month. And then we have local meetings. Like for you, Suzanne, I'll tell you when our next meeting is. I think it's January 17th. It's a Sunday from like 2 to 4. And so we'll be posting those dates on the Girls on Fire page. So you can get your calendars, put it in there, because those once a month pick-me-ups and information keeps you up to date. And also the corporate trainings that they have going on are phenomenal too. So there's one in Denver, there's one in Minneapolis that some of you are going to be going to, some in Chattanooga and Atlanta. So there's lots of good stuff going on.
Hey Shannon, that Minneapolis training?
Yeah.
That Minneapolis training is also the South Dakota team meeting. So the in-person South Dakota team meeting, we're gonna coincide that with the January 17th Minneapolis training.
Nice. And then January 3rd, this Sunday, is going to be the product launch. And I believe it's at, I can't get all of the time zones, all the time zones down. I believe it's 5 p.m. Mountain. So that's 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. Yeah. So congratulations, ladies. Thanks again for joining us. And don't hesitate to reach out and ask questions on that Facebook group, because sometimes you'll get questions answered quicker than you would trying to get in touch with your sponsor. There's a lot of good, smart ladies on there. So thank you so much for joining. So long. Oh, I'll listen to the funk music while we're signing off. We can have a little dance party. You too, Suzanne. Oh, I gotta turn it up. I hope you feel better, Suzanne. And Erin, I will see you tomorrow night at your party. Erin's having a New Year's Eve party